Greetings and welcome to Unplugged FC, part 2 of our conversation with Coach Muhsin Ertugral. Now, in part 1, we spoke about how he became a footballer, the passion behind that, but also how he ended up getting injured and ultimately having to quit his footballing career and becoming the coach that Mzansi has absolutely come to love. Coach, before we went to the short recess of our conversation, you had touched on coming to Kaizer Chiefs, the 10-minute conversation you had with the chairman. So he comes to you, you meet him for the 5th time, and he says, do you want to take over Kaizer Chiefs?
That was after 5th.
After the 5th one. What happens after that? Because you said there was no contract, it was just a conversation. Do you just rock up at training the next day? What happened?
No. It was first I was introduced to him. Obviously checked completely my background. Mr. Mtang is a very curious guy in those years, very specific, very detailed orientated. So, yeah. And what he understands, he has a nose for understanding human side. So we had many conversations about football generally. He wanted to know about the international football. He wanted to know which team I'm even supporting. So he wanted to know everything for you. And then I watched a couple of games. I got the invitation to the games, and then this offer came much more later. So after fifth or sixth meeting, but that was done very quickly. And then I had to the financial side normally it takes 30 pages contracts. So it was for us very quickly. So it was not even. I give you that, I want this, I want to get that. That was it. So you don't, with this kind of personalities, you don't want to be seen as a person that really looks to peanuts. And obviously, coaching Kaizer Chiefs in a young coaching career like that it's something that doesn't come along all the time.
Absolutely.
So, and then you saw this human being that is going to be your president. And that those years was for me very important. That also you give them everything.
Yeah. Now, at the time that you're coming in, you were about to take over from Paul Dolezal, who had won the Rothmans Cup in '97 and in '98. So the team already knows what success is. Did you feel the pressure coming into?
Of course. And I think the team was getting in a certain age. Not many youngsters, if I'm not mistaken, and I think the change came through because the chairman felt, the management, the chairman obviously felt they were stuck, and he needed new. He always told me that later on, you were like a fresh breeze to us. Uh-huh. So he wanted to get a little bit more background from international football to South African football in a mix and bring something new, probably, and a young, dynamic person that is sometimes like an elephant in a porcelain shop. Damage everything.
Yes.
But I think he saw that. And then he always watched training sessions. He loves to watch. On those years he watched a training session. He saw what I wanted to do. But I was never a one-man show. I was never like that. Even it looks like sometimes. Because in the end I need to take that decisions. But I've very quickly associated with Ryder Mpho Maboi on that time. Mm-hmm. And Farouk Khan. And Farouk is for me also mentorship friend. Until now, today we are very good friends. I'm very happy to have him on the side. That there is somebody that I can always pick up the phone and say, "Listen, can you tell me that?" And so these are elements that also. And then what I loved is I had the idea the team were stuck a bit. They didn't understand. I mean, obviously you have personality in the team like Dr. Kumar. Even in Turkey, they told me, "Oh, doctor." So they all know who that is. So now, how you manage your personality like that?
Yes.
This is not a. And there's a young coach, nearly the same age, like Doggy, and you need to coach him. So that's and you need to prove yourself that you're good enough to coach him.
Yeah.
I know they had Tabang the base, late Tabang. They have never mentioned Tabamuki. is such a, what a player he was. But he was the silent dominance. I could say that. Not much talker, but what a player when he's on the field.
Yeah.
But you could see he is influential. And then where we had more, and then obviously also this. But these three were actually unbelievable, strong, dominant players. And you need to convince them.
A personality in their own right.
Yeah. So I always say that on the own marketing. So obviously important people, you need to manage that. What I was then obviously they will be a little bit more manageable when the youngsters are breathing at the back. So immediately I looked for youngsters in the team that I could bring in, and they were actually not very keen. Obviously youngsters that puts them also a little bit, that brings the dynamic into the team when you need that extra mark. And when I loved it when youngsters sniff the jersey, they won't release it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously very quickly with Ryder Mofokeng and Farouk Khan, and had quickly looked into what happened that side to grab. And obviously these ones were very, very, I love their non-ego way of handling me as coming somebody from Europe now, handling me to be servant to get it for the club.
Yeah.
So that was actually because Ryder was also a fantastic football player and was that personality. So it was actually for me then easier to find that breach. Yeah. But the team draw had a lot of draws in the beginning. But the boys didn't understand what I wanted in the beginning, because we wanted that pressing moments. Pressing was not in South Africa not very much visible.
So does this mean you came in and completely changed even the way they play?
Completely. Okay. So I knew that gonna probably hurt me, but I saw quickly that I have a chairman that will understand what I'm doing. And we had a lot of discussion about, not tactical, about methods, about the way how to, about bringing women in, about bringing an athlete in. Adrie de Jong was a South African athlete of 800 meter, South Africa champion.
Yeah.
So football are like sometimes like ducks. So the running, because of my background, the running capacity, the coordination is important for bringing an athlete in. It's completely different. It's more cyclic, but it was important for me to bring her in. Atta Zwane came then through, because everybody called him this, gave him a name because he was like on the right side, like an unbelievable fresh air for us. And then on the other side we had Mpho Maboi. So our wingers were coached by Adrie de Jong and Elsa Storm specifically on their muscles type and the fast switch muscles. Not switch, both of them were fast switch muscles. So they were coached percentagely away from football on their specific position and muscle type already on those years.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then obviously I was a bit of really a pain in the neck of all of them. I wanted a certain way Doggy needs to play. I wanted a certain way of, but Doggy was very open. I found that, and obviously he told something else. I could see from his eyes. We are great friends today, and I really would have appreciated all those years if I would have had him a little bit earlier, because he can make a game, and he was very influential later on winning the Africa Cup. Even he was not playing regularly, but when you needed him,
yeah, he was there.
He was there, and also with his advisors. So because he did it. So sometimes you need to talk to those type of players.
Yeah.
That it's not always that we are right. So you're preparing everything, and then you have these personalities. They're saying, oh dear, it doesn't work. And so you need to be prepared.
I'm curious, you had already coached in Zaire, so you had an idea of what African football is like. Now you come to South Africa. What was your impression of South African football?
It's a beautiful country that I'd told me I felt also already in '96 was the Africa Cup of Nations was actually very nice. Yeah. But I felt Turkey is very volatile, very aggressive in the day-to-day business. Germany is too cold. So this country is like you put the passport on and they say welcome, friendly people. Yeah. It's very diverse. The beauty of the country. It amazed me, the sensitivity of the people. Yeah. So immediately we had a lot of friends here and until now, So we felt home, and my wife came then 2000. She was with the IBM, and then she came 2001, I think.
Wait, did your wife work up for IBM?
Yeah, she
I
was.
also worked for IBM.
Really?
Yes.
She was in the marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's an interesting company, and and then we said, and Mr. Mutau, the president, was always saying, "Where's your wife?" I asked him now, "What do you mean?" So you're a different person when your wife is around. So look that she comes.
Yeah.
So 2001, actually, after he's saying that many times, then we brought Verena in.
Yeah.
And he says to me, much more calm when she's there.
Yeah.
Obviously, then she came in, and actually then I probably became a different person. And I must say that our discussions to be with the club, with these personalities, on that time what 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 Chiefs had was... And then we brought Bobby in. We had also 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 Mafani.
Oh, yes.
𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 was a character, I must say that. And then obviously we had then, after Elsa, Adri, and then we had very, very diva with us in the marketing, Amy Casaretti.
Oh, yes.
And Amy was very, very helpful, very professional. Obviously, this club was a marketing team, but I knew 1 week before what kind of players needed to be in the marketing section. Understanding also through my wife what this marketing means. That was also for me easier, but that communication, that bridge happened. And 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 was also unbelievable.
He was an amazing PRO.
Unbelievable, just a Hollywood actor.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we had such a nice group. And then we brought Bobby.
Yeah. So as a coach, I mean, part of your job, you had spoken about it in part 1 of our conversation, is how you don't just manage footballers, you're also managing people. Yes. You're managing personalities. You know, their mentality is also quite an integral part of who they are. You come in, you are Coach Muhsin Ertugral, they know you from Turkey, they probably had seen you at AFCON if they'd had the opportunity to be there. How do you then take over the change room and allow them to trust you?
This is something, I think this is what we can talk hours of hours. This is the main thing for a coach. The trust. Players have fine antennas. They know immediately when you stand in front of them, there's a pretender, there is a Hollywood actor, there is whatever.
Or what we call them plumbers.
I don't know how these words suddenly come. I mean, really. Plumbers.
Yes.
Who had this idea?
I have no idea.
No, really. It's interesting. Now we also I hear that word so suddenly also in Germany.
Really?
A couple of weeks ago. It is a plumber. Well, it's interesting. I've come from South Africa, or came, I don't know, over the continents. So, you need to be very honest and very authentic, I think. Because they are carriers. These are the carriers of the players. So they are very fine antennas. They know exactly, because they need to go out on the field and do it. And not everything what you tell them doesn't work. So I always told them, listen, look, I can plan. This was always my word. I think when you speak to all the players, they will tell you. Immediately realize that what kind of personality Gustavo and Doggy I had there. And then I said, listen, if it doesn't work, what I'm telling you guys, change to Hollywood. That was my words every time. You change.
Yeah.
So they have these fine antennas. We minimize the discussions, not these hour discussions. So more you talk, so more you make mistakes in their minds. And obviously these boys are on the field. They know where to stop the ball, how to play the ball forward. You don't need to show them.
Yeah.
The point is that how can be the element for me was important. How can I get them together in the collectiveness? Have these individuals, brilliant players, which give you the moment. But the moment is not managed. The manage is the collectiveness.
True.
So through the collectiveness you have the moment.
Yeah.
And so how I make Doggy shine or make Thabo Mbeki shine, and then the other ones, when you lose the ball, the transition in that defensive structure, that they don't need to go all the way back and need to defend. What must I do there? That was my idea all the time. How I can protect these special players, giving certain elements in that they can shine in that moment. So we can plan. But this game is a chaos. You can play whatever. We didn't have this, but I did already pre-record, watch those games. Obviously, these games was televised. and then looked on hours of hours, how can I cut it, present to the players, and then discuss with them, and also individually and in groups.
Wait, you were already doing video analysis back in those days?
Yeah.
That was ahead of its time.
Yeah, I don't think so. That all other coaches would have done that also. I think we had that also in Europe as well already. But it was this this DVD recording at the time. So you sit and they say stop. You're recording it and then take it. And obviously we had Amy had the brilliant idea to take those speed sessions on those years. We did 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 speed because the team was so pacey that people were actually interested, and we did this DVD. How 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 was training at training sessions. So they came in, we did these speed training sessions.
Yeah.
So it was already done. And I remember that with Patko going through his voice, getting to actually I think it was here, where we went in and did these cuts. Yes, we did. We did analyze sometimes, but I didn't bore the players too much.
Too much details, yeah.
Yeah, and I have generally for me a point where I say, okay, 15. These are 15 points to the game from our side, and you add your 5, 6 yourself.
Yeah.
That I always like to talk about that. So 10 from us, 5 for you, and actually worked for us.
You're mentioning DK. You're mentioning Mpho Maboi. Who are the other players that held a very special place in your heart till today, where you feel like, you know what, that 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓's footballer was absolutely amazing?
𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 combination, 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 obviously. 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓, when I came in, we had another assistant coaches around, and 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 was not playing a lot, always injured. Very similar to me what happened. Extremely pacey, but his muscle type could not hold to the muscle. I quickly understood. And so we had also a very similar player, Dennis Wukubi. So for me it was always between Dennis or 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓. I couldn't use both. We looked into Bailey's possibility, and I mean, I could see there is a player that really is amazing. And but he was injured. So Elsa, we looked to his muscle type, we tested the player, and Bailey was a very, for me, not, let me say, a thinker. He is more an instinct player. He could sniff the situations, and we discussed certain short elements what he need to do, and then he adds on. It was amazing to watch. He scored in this season. Then obviously Elsa, I told him, you're the handbag of Elsa. So handbag of Elsa, where Elsa goes, takes 𝐿𝐴 with in the handbag. So he had a lot of private sessions, make him powerful on this, that the muscle holds, because he was so quick. And then no injury in that whole season. 22 goals, I think, became the player of the year, South Africa. Top goal scorer, South Africa, and then went straight to Italy. And then I lost a player that obviously that really made a lot of difference. The combination Jabu and Bailey. And I lost Mohamed Ozip. That was for me also one of the anchor players that we have. I didn't use him at the back. I used him as a 6 at that time. To that Doggy could go a little bit 10 meters more forward to be more in the gaps between the third zone, between the defensive zone and the midfield zone. So he was for me always a player that could be the first ball. So we discussed that, and I needed to tell the team that, listen, first ball, when you win the ball back, doesn't matter in certain zones. First ball is definitely Doggy. That was already it was a law without me telling that.
Yeah.
So the players already looked where Doggy was. So because when Doggy received the ball, he won't lose it. So it gives us the element with the pacey player that I had, go to 10 meters forward, because we knew that we're not going to lose the ball. So the moment when you not lose the ball, that gives the player also the confidence to be. So when Doggy was marked, he was tight. He was very clever. He took himself out of the situation, and Thabo was available. So we had always the first ball Thabo, but Thabo was more further. So Thabo, then Doggy needed to get in, and we had this triangle then working. We didn't work over Mohamed. We worked on with these two, the first balls.
Yeah.
And that gives us always an edge to be very quickly with the wingers to go very, very much forward. This was our attacking patterns.
Yeah. So how long did it take for them to finally get it? Because you're talking about how in the beginning there was just draws and draws and draws.
Because we set up the defensive structure, because this is non-negotiable, because the red zone and the most goals happen in the golden zone. So obviously we know that that area needs to be closed. I had giants there, players like Mpho Maboi. He was unbelievable pacey, and your players could dribble him, and then he will be back again.
Yeah.
So he was quick. Was Cyril Zamas, and unbelievable players.
You've actually coached some amazing footballers.
Yeah. And so the defensive structure was there, and so we had already this setup with the wingers, with Marco Mutembu and Atazwane later on. And obviously Mohamed was the pillar for us. And when Mohamed wasn't there, was Patrick Mbutu. And then we got Tinashe. So this was then this type. And later on, my second stint was Lecheloniani.
He actually says you're one of his favorite coaches. He says he learned a lot under you and he grew a lot under your guidance.
I was extremely hard with him. It was sometimes really, because I love he's such a brilliant, nice human being, and so funny. And I needed to be hard on him when he came from Jomo. Actually, he was tackling everything but moose. Even that mosquito.
That's how they were taught.
Even that mosquito, when he was there, he would tackle that mosquito. Because I could see that I had a lot of discussion with the chairman. Actually, we didn't want to buy him. He was too expensive. And he bought him to us, and he was a marvelous player. Because that combination there in the middle, that pillar for me, I could sleep in the night, because I knew there's somebody that will hit it and play.
Yes.
So we actually ticklished out through a lot of automatism, and he was telling me one day, "Coach, your automatism made me crazy." I think he dreamt that in the night, because when the ball comes from here, what he needs to do, and the ball comes from there. So we do a lot of automatism, and I think then he could see, he ticked up, and then I was so proud of him to play the World Cup.
Yeah. Tell me about that tickling.
About?
The tickling.
About Bryce Moon.
Yes.
Oh, Bryce was, you need to ticklish players. Bryce was 18 on that time, and we have the cup final, and this was my Ajax Chickens. So we have the cup final to play against Sundowns, this important cup final so Bryce is a player that you need to play with his mind. Bryce is not a player so these are the type of player, young, very self-confident, but very naughty. So he will put you on the ice, your slipper with him if you're not clever. So we have the cup final in that week, and then I said to him, look, they called in my room. So in the room, one by one, when they come in, there's more seriousness, not on the field. So he was already shaky. I said, I'm not going to use in the final. He says, I don't appreciate. And then obviously I needed to play the Hollywood. And I screamed him out of my, you don't appreciate it. Screamed him out of my, the hairdryer.
Yes, yeah.
Even John came running around and said, what's going on here? What's going on? And I say, I'm out here. And so he's clever. Every time I put him in B team, every time we have this training session, tactical aspects, he was on the other side. Every time he does a good movement, he looked to me up, and I looked to him, and I looked away.
Yeah.
And then came Friday. I knew exactly my movements.
Yeah.
So came Friday, I did the similar pattern on the B team as well. That if he doesn't, if come him, it's easy for him.
Yeah.
So Friday morning, I will never forget that on the field. After we play 4 against 2, 5 against 2 always. So I called him to me and said, "Do you think you can play?" What do you mean? I asked you, can you play? Oh, coach, of course I play. He came in, obviously then he played. We beat Sundowns. I think it was 2-0. One he caused himself, and one he provided.
Wow.
And then after the game, I will never forget, his father came. I says to coach, I don't know what you did, but 18 years I couldn't get that naughty one in the right direction. In 6 months, you have in the right direction.
Fantastic.
And then he became a national player, and then suddenly, obviously, played Champions League and went to Greece and played.
Yeah.
No, I love Bryce. Bryce is a special player always for me, but he's naughty.
Fantastic. So coming back to 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 Chiefs, in 2001, you won the Mandela Cup. How special was that for you?
I spoke a short while ago with Doggy. I think with all the trophies and all the success he had, for him, he says, it was for me the most, that's what he told me, the most special one, I think, for me there as well. So when a player feels that, how much must feel a coach? So obviously you're responsible, but the boys did it. And we beat Ismaili, which immediately handhunted me also to Ismaili later on. Ismaili on the time win the league in Egypt. So it was extremely difficult. No, we played 1-1 there and 0-0 here. And we beat Club Africain, also Club Africain handhunted me also later on. And that was the two really giants that on that time in African football that we beat. With a very, very limited squad, because that process between 2 seasons is that you can only register certain players. So we let a lot of players go. So we had, I think if I'm not mistaken, 14 players only left. Nobody believed that actually you could win it. But I had special players. Ajax Cape Town on that time, the youngster. Tlantla Kubeka, not to forget. All these youngsters, Jabu, Marco Mutembu, Cyril, Tabu, Doggy, in and out. When I needed him, we put him in. Brian was actually on that time as a not in the goal, as a striker. Sometimes we put him in. But we had not even enough players for that. To win it was for me. We'll give it to the boys. I must say that we coaches can only do so much. But I think the self-belief what they brought into that for me was easy to manage that. I must say that the team was fit, was organized, and they wanted to achieve.
Yeah. You keep talking about Jabu a lot. Do you feel like the system failed him?
Yeah, completely. Obviously, somebody must also, he failed himself. But it's always difficult for us to speak from outside, especially as a European. But I come also from a poor background and been in a country, grew up in a country which there were always hurdles in our ways to be. Obviously, we understand the groups that he is growing up, that he needs to be taken responsible of, and they drag him into the groups. And I'm also a person that I believe in culture, and I won't touch cultures and social aspects. So we learn from it, and they need to be respected. You have diversity here, different tribes that certain do certain ways, certain do other ways. So you need to be very careful not to touch those. Obviously, suddenly he was gone. I mean, we played the Africa Cup qualifications. Seychelles come back. We play Free State Stars, and then we just need to, I think, draw the game, and then we win the league. Suddenly, these two are not there. So they were fine in Bloemfontein drinking spree. And so. For me, I'll never come over it because that point we needed to win the league. For those boys, the youngsters, 18, 19, 20 years old, at that time, the responsibility what they had, maybe they didn't understand it. Later on, obviously, I love Dubai so much that the human being on his side, we are responsible for that, what they're doing. And even then, in my career as a coach in Austria, I took him with me. But Jabu was a type of, we all know Ronaldinho in international football. He was one of the best players. I mean, I coached, now we see Arda, we see 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 Çalhanoğlu, we coached really big, Davo Vugrinec, we coached big players, but I think Jabu was a very, very special player.
Yeah.
The moment, there's the type of player, when you receive the ball around the box, you see the defense is already on the toes, and there is something that you sniff, you know what, something going to happen now.
Yeah.
One pass, one move, one shot. So he sees the game before. But this you can't learn. You have that or not. This was Jabu.
True. Now, 2001 was also a very amazing year for 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 Chiefs. You didn't only win the Mandela Cup. In fact, you won 4 trophies that year. The Vodacom Cup, the BP Top 8, the Coca-Cola Cup, and the Mandela Cup. And you were named the 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 African Club of the Year.
Yeah.
Is that like the biggest highlight of your time at Chiefs that year?
My career, I would say.
Your entire career? Okay.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I had very much success with Trabzonspor. But you're not only responsible. Here, I'm responsible. Yes, I would say so. But we gradually went into. It is not only myself, I must say that. I had tremendous people around me. We had such an energy. I'm in Bayern Munich, on Galatasaray. So, Mr. Chairman, the president was Manchester United.
Yep.
Amy was Juventus. Bobby, I don't know which team he supports.
Is he not Liverpool?
Could be, I don't know.
I think he's Liverpool.
So we had one thing going on. When a team loses, on Monday, we had the lunch prepared.
Yeah.
So that one who loses, gonna pay lunch. So Bayern Munich was on that time a bit in the slump. I remember. Juventus were very strong. Manchester United was very strong. I think Bobby was also, so I ended up always paying it. So we had such a, I don't know what the Patko was, but in the end, many times I remember, most of not wrong, Mr. Chairman, for me, I was paying it.
Yeah.
But he was very kind, and sometimes he took it away, even when we lost it. So that was that synergy we had. So we had Mondays our lunch together, we discussed together, and this family atmosphere gives me also that me say, when things are not going well, the coach is always alone.
Absolutely.
But I felt, how do you find the right words? I felt you're not alone. We are in the boat with you. So that is that I think I have not experienced that other teams, maybe in SuperSport as well. I would say Black Aces. Yes, Black Aces. I must say that the two chairmen, marvelous chairmen. I must also that not to forget that they were the same. But I think for a big club from that dimension, to have people like that around makes you to concentrate on another level.
Now you go through such a good year. Do you ever, in the back of your mind, feel like, okay, now if we're at this high, it can only go down from here?
It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, and also, I think I was also inexperienced. I was very young. I think I touched 40 or something, or 41. So it is something that also needed to be. There was such a slump. I think I remember that by sight. And this is what a coach is really, really difficult. I think to mention the chairman, we had a meeting about that. And I said, look, I think we need to really find some players to get now. They are on a seal, on the level, their furnitures. And for me as a coach, it's very difficult not to feel them.
Yeah.
So obviously that was for me then also a curve that I needed to learn, to touch the right one, doggy stop to play, which was maybe a bit premature. He should have played another season. I think at least another season, because then he would be more, and later on you learn from that. Maybe we should not push him to the coaching staff from that time, rather leave him on the field and use him sparingly. Thabo played later on. I don't know which players. There were some players that also reached the ceiling that we need to get away from them. And so it was the expectation went so high because it was unbearable. And we didn't score. So also the players, they went through these emotions. And methodically I didn't change a lot, but the team went a bit tired. I could see that.
Yeah.
So we had this armada of team around us that could, but in the end, for us, they didn't go well, didn't go out. So I remember that after having this, dropping that that was like a plane crash, emotionally. And to get out of that is not easy.
Is that why you left?
Yeah, I think so.
When you made that decision to leave?
No, it was a together decision. Yeah.
But when that decision comes, when that conversation, are you aware that decision is coming?
Yeah, for sure. You can see, you can feel. You can feel. I mean, body language. We learn to listen to body language or see the body languages. You can see that the pointing fingers are there. Players will always have the excuses. This is good. And look, the coaches are always those ones who need to take responsibility. You're driving the driving seat. Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's all other elements. But there's no excuses on it, because when you sit on that chair, you know that you're responsible for that. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Not to find my excuse, I really had difficulty to get the team off.
Do you think it's fair that when things are going well, everyone celebrates the team, but when things are going bad, it's always the coach's fault?
No, it's life. As the coach, like you learn very, very quickly when you reach that seat, when you reach that level. Turkey is even worse. We have, what is it, 80 million? We have 75 million fans, coaches.
How did you take that separation from Kaizer Chiefs emotionally?
Not good. I think it was a bit for me at one, but it was a very nice emotional farewell. I met the chairman later on many times. He came even to visit me in Cape Town in my house. Actually, he was the one who made me stay in South Africa. And he says, Cape Town for your future, that you need to look. And then I bought a property in Cape Town already, 2001, 2002. And it was him that pushed me to that.
Yeah.
So think about the retirement, think about the future. It's good that you stay in one leg always in South Africa. You will go, you will be a brilliant coach, you will go somewhere. You always encourage me. And then, but Cape Town is for you the place that you, and that was one of the reasons. Then I went to Cape Town, obviously, to coach in Cape Town. And then bought the property there, but I had always the ear from a man that advised me to do that as a year.
Yeah. How did that Ajax Cape Town deal come about?
I was in Emirates at the time. I went also to a great club in Emirates. It was after the club of Sheikh Omar, Benyas. It was after Ismaili. It was a beautiful farewell because I was coming back actually to South Africa, but didn't happen. Ernst Middenop came in. The choice was Ernst. It was actually the one what I also brought in, a friend of mine from Germany. And so then I had this offer from Benyas, a club that was on the edge. So I remember going to Emirates was on those years really touching to the professional level. They wanted to invest and brought international coaches in. I enjoyed it and have until now today sometimes advisory role to them. And it's a great club that they've been associated with, and actually didn't want to sign next season again. Obviously, financial was very good, and then John asked me, "Do you think you want to come back to us and to South Africa?" Obviously, there was no discussion. This is Ajax, so I associated Ajax Amsterdam. Even they didn't understand that in Emirates that I didn't take their offer. It was a huge offer, and came to much more or less to Ajax, but obviously it's Ajax, South Africa, and was very happy to be back.
Yeah. What lessons from Chiefs did you take to Ajax?
Oh, a lot. Management. I think on that young time when I came in, I learned management, how to prepare the social aspects, managing, that called managing, I think it's from Kaizer.
Yeah,
from the president,
And now you're working at Ajax. I mean, they are synonymous with playing with youngsters. How different was that? Because at Chiefs you were playing with mainly veterans. Now you're having to play with young talent.
No, it was very difficult at the time, I must say that, because most people don't even realize Ajax just could stay in the league because of 1 point. They were nearly relegated, and last week actually they drew, they could, and the opponents lost. So they just stood in the league, and then I think John's idea was to bring me in because always with the young, bringing young players, and they had armada of young players there.
Oh yes.
And as for me, actually, I had a great assistant coach with Ian Gorowa, and Ian was there. And I must say that coach is not. People mostly don't understand. A good coach is also a coach that has a good people around him. So Ian was for me not only a good human being, fantastic coach.
Yeah.
So obviously the team was stucking. I mean, they sent a lot of youngsters away that they didn't think they could make it. FC took Clifford Gobeni. So I was looking for a six that the type of Tinashe or Sinashe that can play a little bit from her. And then Ian was actually the one to say, we send a player away, maybe you like him. So we took Clifford back, that is, and became player of the year, youth player of the year at that time. We took Young Ino as a youngster from Cameroon. He was playing in Cyprus, Turkish side. We took Young Ino in. We had a young Granville Scott. We had a young Bryce Moon. Franklin Kale. Nathan Paulser made me crazy. He always wanted to turn with his 2 meters. And at Brad Evans, Hans Fong in the goal. So we had a good team.
Yeah.
But they needed just to understand. So the philosophy of Ajax doesn't work. That works in Ajax in Holland, but doesn't work here. So immediately the sportif director, the head, was a very, very interesting guy, a very famous guy for Ajax set up. And we discussed Martin van Geel. And had a lot of discussion with Martin. And they played on the time, they have a certain setup, a system of specific 3-4-3, which they go also for the use. And I said, it doesn't work in South Africa, forget about it. And I say, why? Because the 3 will always become 5. So this 3-4-3, the wingers will always, when you lose the ball, in the end, when opponents have the ball, it will be a low block.
Yeah.
It will be a low block, and then you will have problems to get out. Because in South Africa, players on that time, when you pressurize them, they have a problem under pressing. So how are we going to get out of it? You will be low block, and Ajax is not low block. These players are used to play. So I need to have a higher up organization pattern, and we changed to 4-3-3 actually. And that was, we said, yes, actually the modern football today will go for 4-4-3. Even Germany changed from 3 or 4. So that was of the years that we took 4-4-3. I said, South Africa, you have your own culture, own language, so you can't play with 3 at the back there.
Yeah.
Because with 3 at the back also you need to be high up, and the team will want to be high up. That was one of the reasons, for instance, why I brought and used Ito, because he could play. So people didn't understand him at that time. And yeah, Ajax was for me like, I found myself a bit there, because I needed to work with players that has at least 6, 7, 8 years of youth development. So they don't come from a primary school to the university. At least they come primary school, high school, and then to university. So they had this graduation of, this was for me very important. They understand my language immediately.
Yeah.
The other teams that I have, like, this is the big challenge in South Africa. You have, I would say, you have 4 or 5 years of youth development, maybe not good enough, maybe emotionally, and then they suddenly need to be in professional. So they come from the ground school, from the first area straight to university, and that's difficult.
And there's nothing in between.
So these are the Europeans have a bit more advantage to that. They have 10, 12 years of proper youth development with the best coaches.
Yeah.
And with the best fraternities, with the best possibilities. And I can say today, and I'm discussing it many times, you go to Mpumalanga, you go to ever in South Africa, in townships, and I say, watch Sundays these boys playing, and say, you come. 100% you will find players. But you need to mold them. Because in their townships, how they play is their language.
True.
They will stand on the ball.
True.
They will do their own and also we had the discussion, they have maybe 1 ball to training sessions. Everyone needs a ball. So what is that what you develop then when you have the 1 ball? They won't release it.
Yeah.
They will play their own skills. And they have this to the years of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which are the important years that is missing. And that's where actually those elements need to be looked into South Africa.
But because we were having this conversation a bit earlier on, that switch, because one could argue that was being done because the fan at the time would flock to the stadium because they want to see the flair play, they want to be entertained. Whereas now it's not more about the entertainment element. We need to be entertained, yes, but we also want results.
Yeah, no, you need results, anything, because it's a money business. So you won't have this shop having all these people buying it if it not been result driven. In South Africa, I see a lot of rugby, there's a lot of football. South Africa is twice world champion. Cricket is now you're going to the World Cup. Football is coming up. I just read that the PSL has great market merchandising and has made so much money. So I hope that the tap opens and goes a little bit to that part. So obviously, to the part where these youngsters are going. So for me, the most important thing is that obviously, now all these discussions, people in Europe, especially the countries that has developed a certain high standard of football, are looking not very keen to to African football. That's fact. So how do you prove that actually that, listen, South Africa has hosted the World Cup. Have you hosted the World Cup? Or obviously in the last couple of years after 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓, which, and I don't want to touch now the emotions of which one has ever won in the Champions League, or which one? We had Sean Bartlett, we had Lucas Radebe, we had always the, but how many really have achieved certain degree of success for their, not being there, but for their success means in the highest level, playing week in, week out. Lucas, obviously, Sean, but that's it. Bradley, just for me now, really congratulations for that. Bradley has become that's not easy in a foreign country to become a coach of the year. So these are elements that needs to be done more, but people are not interested in it. They have certain reasons for it.
Taking you back to Ajax, 2006, 2007, you win your first PSL trophy with Ajax. What was going through your mind? Did you think you could achieve that?
In the beginning, for sure not. 2007 was, there was so many youngsters floating into it, and Hans was always grumpy and very this Dutch, how, who, and this. Always Dutch. One thing is with the Dutch, they have always something to say about football. They're the founders of football. So obviously they have changed the football world. Yeah. But the beautiful game is not always beautiful. So sometimes you need to win ugly.
True.
Obviously it's beautiful is in their mind. Obviously we are very thankful to the Dutch football, but they have the once discussion not much on the chest. Where these type of countries that they develop football, they have 4 stars, 5 stars. So there's not much on the chest. So this is what I'm always arguing with them about it. Sorry. And Hans was grumpy, but he had this element of structure size from. But the point is that a goalkeeper sees from a goalkeeper part. They have never reached the midfield. So they see that always from the back, and they want to keep the players securing there, but I don't want that. So we had a lot of fallouts and discussions about to push the team a little bit more forward, but it's uncomfortable for the football founders. So I had a lot of youngsters that they need just been released, and then we just needed to understand each other that okay, we need to play a certain way. When we lose the ball with certain aspects, that's the 10 points, and then every one of you guys have these 5 points. You put the element in, and a lot of them also played together. So that was for me very much easy. So they understand the movements. When somebody turns left, he knows that one needs to make the run. So all these synergies is very much important, and this I call that relation today in the game. Yeah. Without relation today, there is no system. And I call that the relation. That relations obviously like on that time, Jabu, Nomvete, on my time, later on Lecholonyane, Shabalala. What I have that more at the back, the 2 Mabedi, Cyril Zama. So all this relation was for me very much important to on those years already to look into, and that I have built very much into with Ajax.
Now you're talking about relations. You spoke as well about the badges. There's very few players who've played for both sides of Soweto, and even fewer coaches who've coached both sides. You've had the ability or the opportunity to coach both. What was that like?
I think first of all, it was a big mistake. This is one of my regrets that I have.
Why?
You're associated with one team. You come to the country and be known as the person that you have achieved as Kaizer Chiefs. I think this is also a big issue is the rivalry. This rivalry should be always there. You don't cross the path. You shouldn't cross the path, I think. It was not long with me, with Pirates, but there was a lot of reasons behind it why I left. Yeah. That was my own decision. There's a great chairman, and in the end he understood. And I'm also not the person that put certain linen out and also discuss my own ego, what should have been done, but it was only my first loss. And actually we were building a team that it comes very soon into the level that, but obviously that's why I call this furniture, these elements sometimes you push too much too far that players want. So we don't want to go too much into it because of the respect of the club and the fans, and most also don't understand that. That's the respect what I have. I will never stand in front of the public and excuse myself. These was the reasons, not necessary. Coaches come and go. There's a club will always stay. The servants will come and go.
Yeah.
So this we learned very quickly there where I come from. This is why great club. I would have loved to achieve much more with the team. This is why the chairman brought me in, because of my achievements and because also of the previous year with Black Aces. We have a very successful team. I think if that team would have continued, it's been sold, I think that would have been a force in South African football. Unfortunately, Mario sold it very early.
Yeah.
But Pirates Chiefs, you don't go from River to Boca. You don't go from Galatasaray to Fenerbahce.
Yes.
You don't go from Pirates to Chiefs, or from Chiefs to Pirates. Maybe as a player, but as a coach, I think it was my only regret what I have, not to touch the emotions, but I think a coach what has been associated there should stay there.
What did that experience of coaching at both teams teach you about South African football in totality?
Oh, there's a lot of emotions in this game. And, the one side is obviously, I found obviously I'm more associated with the team. The one side is for me, has given me that flair. The other side is much more for me a workaholic team, working team. And the strength of this team is when you look into that, much more older, much more, speaking from Pirates.
Yeah.
And has a chairman that demands excellence. And it's not that we shy about it. It's also sometimes things are not going the right way. But in the end, you're responsible. So you will be put always into your place. But you are a servant for this club. I understood that very well. But what is that? But what I learned from it, I think there are two giants. And for my own ego, to be associated with both teams is, coach both times, as you say, not much. It was a point in my career, but it was also a negative side in my career when I left Pirates. I should have never done that way. But we all have also our own emotions, and I don't. Because in the end you have decisions to make, and that decision stays with you when certain aspects comes in that you can't say, okay, that I've been point into a certain elements that I can be taking decisions freely.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't make any sense to continue. So let's leave it at that. And I think the chairman is a fantastic man. I must say that Mr. 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓 has done. South African football is Mr. 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓.
Speaking of South African football, what do you think of how we have grown? You made mention earlier, we are heading to the World Cup. You know, we've seen the PSL ebbs and flows. Yes, there's been the dominance of Mamelodi Sundowns, but we've also seen Pirates coming through, and Kaizer Chiefs as well this season is coming through. There's the Stellenboschs, there's the Sekukunes of this world. What do you think of South African football overall? Have we grown, or are we going backwards?
There's a good generation at the moment. What I can say, these players have come. We have a couple of good players. What you can see is that what Hugo Broos have done, the coach has done, is something that has been unique. And I think he needs to be, because most people don't know. I know Hugo Broos from a time when I was in Belgium. He was a world-class defender. People maybe don't see that. World-class defender. He was a tough nut, that one. And he was a Belgium international in the time when Belgium was really a force in international football. So there is not somebody that South Africa is lucky to have him. I must say that. And he's very patient.
So you can see that.
Yeah, he's very patient. And obviously now, this achievement is not just by luck. This achievement is with patience, with the unpatience. He took this with patience, with the group that he has built, Pirates players, Sundowns players, that they understand each other. And he's many times been questioning in his decisions why this player, and in the international part, is that with us the same in Turkey? Always people find this player is playing well, but yes, he's playing well, but 10% of this player is much more than this 50% or 100% of that player in my team at the moment that I want to be succeed. So there he sees certain things that has been very much, and suddenly I hear from Germany, I hear from Turkey, I hear from all over, coach, what happened there? What happens with South African football? So that alone makes interest to come to South Africa a little bit more. It's not the scouts that doesn't see. It's not. It is the element that players need to go abroad to play in international football in high level. What Senegal's, Cameroon, Ghanaian, and all those players. And when they come back, they can give you that back to South African football what is needed. So what is happening now at the moment? I think you have very good coaches by Sundowns. Extremely, and I'm a big fan of Rulani. I must say that, and when we speak to him, I really feel that fresh brace that I brought on those years in that he has.
Yeah.
That non-stopping. So when you say something, then he will come back from the window, from the other door, comes in and will tell you that, and that's what I love on him, because he's persistent.
Yeah.
And you have good coaches now. Pirates have, for me, an unbelievable good coach at this season. Maybe they don't realize how good he is. And I know him very well. I spoke to him also. And I think if they give him a little bit more time, a little bit more, that obviously you need to get that result. I think Pirates will be forced this season. He understands the dynamics because he comes from that level. Chiefs has a lot of up and downs. For me, it was painful from the far to see, because obviously, I mean, always I said, when I walk through the street, when I've been gas station, when I hear every time, oh coach, and it's painful to see the background and see that. And Kaizer Chiefs fans and Kaizer Chiefs supporters, Kaizer Chiefs is the driving force of South African football, and even in African football, I think it was. So I think the responsibility what they have is be a little bit lost, because Sundowns, obviously financial, yes, but financial doesn't buy you the success. So they did a lot of things right. Brought an international sportive director, which he brought the elements what has been necessary to South Africa to bring the professionalism a little bit more up. You have Steve Kompella there, which has been not mentioned, but Steve he played in a high demanded league. So Pirates has that, Chiefs has that. All those years, the Chiefs a little bit years come away. I have never seen Chiefs losing so much coaches, losing so much impatience. So that was actually for me one of the reasons that Chiefs didn't have success on those 10, 11, 12 years. And they need that success. So now they just won a cup and it's coach again. So from outside to speak about that, what happened behind the doors, we don't know that. They know much more than us. There is a reason behind. You can't just say, there must be a reason behind that they changed.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think now when I watch the team, defensive structure is there. Offensive, not when I played last season twice against them, and twice we nearly beat them. Once we beat them, we played a draw. Because the team was very limited. And I think what the new coaches understood, there is a structure, much more defensive structure. Organization pattern is there. There's a lot of young players who can make the spark, but in the structure. And this Africa Cup will help them. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not to win it. It's not to just come out of the group. And I think they will use these elements to be, for the next season, to be a force. I think these elements will help them to become, if they're patient with the coaches, don't change again. I think that's a bit of a, keep that going, that level going unless that they will break down. I think that continuity now, the squad is ensembled very well to challenge.
You just touched on Cape Town City now. What happened there?
I don't know. John wanted me suddenly, beginning of the January. People don't understand and always thought that. Well, let me speak about that. 24-25 season, they had only 7 victories. So the team is on a downgrade. The first 6 months in this new season, they had only 3 victories under Eric. Nobody will ever say that Eric is not a good coach. 3 victories in 6 months and 2 draws. So the chairman sees there's something happening and say, Muhsin, can you take over? But as a sportive director, we talked about it. But now, Chiefs is coming, Pirates come, one of the next. I have 3 days to prepare the team. Beat all of them. So the team didn't have that, let me say, that capacity, that possibility, that the frame or the eagerness to be very successful. So obviously you won against these teams with a very low block, easier to structure. Organization pattern actually non-football. It's not me, but it helped the team to win these games. And you have, in 2 days, you have Pirates and Chiefs. How you have managed that? with 3 games only in the season, just 1. Nobody sees that, obviously. I mean, always, coach, this, coach. No, it's very difficult. So, in that period of time, I had actually won the most points. So I had 3 draws, 3 victories. So in that season already, the most points was in that 2.5 months with me.
Yeah.
John had an idea to bring a sportive director, to bring a coach already in very early, and the coach didn't come in. He went to Leverkusen. Now he's the sportive director. So you could see that the team actually they have a certain strategy that this type of team wants to play a type of football that doesn't suit this team. This team needed to stay back and just play off counter. So the idea of counter doesn't suit actually, but it will serve the matter. But actually the forces from all over was not that you could say, okay, we're going to play against Magessi only defense. So that would have not served the purpose for their minds.
Yeah.
But obviously then the losses came in, away games, and losses came in. So it was very difficult to get the team over. And then John said, it's not the knowledge, it's not maybe we just need to change the luck. But you could see the team is in a downgrade. After me, I think they just won once.
Sure.
So, and even not winning against NFT sides. And until now they just won, so that you could see that the team is in such shambles. It was before. It was during the time you could a little bit find some solutions to more stabilize, but then again went in.
Were you surprised when they got relegated?
I was surprised, yeah. I think, but the emotions of the players, you could see that these youngsters are not very much unbelievable talents in there. But you could see that they're not stable. And again, changing a coach, I think was rare. I think I could have managed to get at least another victory in there, or a second victory. So John is which we have worked many times together, 4 times with Ajax, and this time 5 times. He knows me very well. I think he just wanted to change the luck, probably, or whatever that was in his mind. Yeah. But after me, only one victory, and actually a totally plane crash. I don't think so that they were prepared after that. Also these emotions. And these youngsters are very, very unstable. Unfortunately for Cape Town football, I think it's a big responsibility what they have to get at least the team up. Stellenbosch has that responsibility, and I hope I know that they can. And don't push, please, the coach in a certain level. Let this man work. He knows what he's doing. There's too much tohuwabohu around the team, selling players, getting players in. I think the coach knows exactly what he's doing. He's a gentleman, and he's good to his players, and I think the players believe in him. The moment when you see the players don't believe, that's the time you pull the trigger. So I think they will survive this season. They have still Africa Cup, which is a bit of a problem, I think, for them, but I don't think so the Stellenbosch will have any problems with down there.
Are you ready to come back to coaching?
Yeah, we have the World Cup coming. So I had a couple of offers now last couple of months. Yeah. Even I went to Spain with a couple of discussions. Algeria is actually a moment, whatever that happens, is that they're looking coaches who have coached in South Africa, which is actually very nice to see that. There were some couple also in my own country. Obviously, I served national team. Yeah, I don't want to make another mistake. I'm a bit afraid of, I must say that word, afraid. It has to be a good project. It's not necessary to me standing my own ego, just getting my, let me say, the experience out. Probably like a sportive director or head of football department maybe, and giving. It's time to open the doors for younger coaches. So we sometimes you older want to claim long, but I have understood that business and much more, and obviously we renew ourselves every time.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is my life.